This video is a bit different from the average video I make, since those are about video games, but this one is also a bit related to games kinda in the end. And I'm just mostly gonna bamble about this topic with some random gameplay in the background, so it's like one of those opinion videos where someone surfs in Counter-Strike and talks about random stuff. I haven't played Isaac in a while though, so I'm kinda bad at it, and I don't know why I went with the Lost then, because he's the hardest character kinda. No risk, no fun I guess, so hopefully don't mind the gameplay too much. But anyways, today I want to talk about your own voice and how you shouldn't let it discourage you if it tries to. Let's go back to 2008 or 2007, around the time I bought my first headset, which was like headphones plus a microphone right attached to it. I think everyone knows what it is. I got that dumb looking Fatality one for like 30 bucks because it was cheap and the guy was a big name in the esports scene, so it needs to be good, right? Well, it was bad, but it did its job alright. When I got back home with it, I went straight onto my PC, and real boomers like me back in the day used TeamSpeak, and I'm sure Skype was around that time too already. So I got onto the server, which was the server of a forum I often used to finally be able to talk to, because I just hang out there and listen to people talk, and they also had a chat room. Back in the day we used chat rooms, we used forums, and it was fun. So I wanted to also be able to talk with those people. So I quickly configured everything, and it had the feature of being able to record yourself on TeamSpeak, because you kind of want to listen to yourself before you actually use it. So you could listen to the MP3 file that comes out of it, and I did that, and holy shit, what am I hearing here? Sorry. Is that how I really sound like, or did I somehow misconfigure something? Why is my voice so different from the one I normally hear when I talk with people in real life? Like, I thought I messed up my settings, or maybe the quality of the microphone is just that bad that it changes my voice so much. And yeah, it kind of depends on the quality of your microphone too. Like, if you have a low quality mic, your voice is still much different than the one you actually have, but also not too much from the one you actually have when you record, or the voice that other people hear. But all in all, it will most likely still sound really different, because that's just how our bodies work. I never knew that. Like, nobody told me that. I didn't learn this at school. My parents never told me. And I always thought I have this somewhat manlier and deeper voice, but when I heard my own voice through the recording, I thought, who is that goofball talking? It literally tanked my self-confidence so hard that I just wanted to not talk anymore, despite being so happy I finally got a microphone. In a way, I was really afraid I will come in and everyone will start to laugh at me and make fun of me for my voice, even though something like that has never happened before. Because, well, not even in real life, so it can't be that bad, right? If nobody told me I have a bad voice in real life, why would people on the internet do the same, right? And it's like the own voices that you have in your head, telling you not to do something because you don't think you're worth something like that. You're not worth being able to talk to other people, that you're not allowed to talk to other people because you think your own voice is so bad. It makes you not want to talk to them, because it makes you think they will make fun of you for it, even though that isn't the case. Like, your own voice, or inside of your head, and your own thoughts sometimes will try to bully you, even though there's like no need. There's like no need to be so self-confident about something that no one has ever told you about. Kind of like that. I also have to add that I had a lot of trouble speaking growing up, and I learned it later than you usually do, like learning how to speak. Not my parents' fault, they tried their best, but it's just something some people just get born differently, right? And I had to go to speech therapy, and also went to an elementary school for kids with learning disabilities for like 2 years to also learn how to speak better there. I quickly got put into a normal one though, because aside from not speaking much and having trouble pronouncing certain words, especially those with a lot of S sounds, or Z, or like Americans say Z, or English people Z, like Dragon Ball Z, added with my lip or lisp, that's a thing called where you sometimes, it's like hard to understand you. And also the tendency to start talking really fast, so my words start to slur a lot. It wasn't deemed that bad, so I was allowed to go to a normal elementary school, since I was too smart for people with like learning disabilities. Like where you are not as smart as you should be at that point, and stuff like that. Like, I'm not maybe the smartest, but I was allowed to go to a normal one, because if they thought like, hey, he can actually talk quite well now. And then I went to a normal elementary school, and there I experienced a few moments that already never made me want to talk again. And I never got bullied, but I was the kid who accidentally, said sex instead of six in English class, and everyone started to laugh, and it made me feel like poop. It made me think they're laughing. They're laughing at me, but I nowadays know they didn't laugh at me. They laughed because someone said the word sex, because haha, sex, funny. So I don't blame anyone for it, but you know how those situations can go. You take them the wrong way, and it happened again, but since the story is kind of funny, no one will laugh at it, but I will tell it anyways. Later on in high school, in sports class, we played badminton and talked about the theory of how to do a good serve, and the teacher said the ball has to make this special hissing sound when you hit it, and she picked me to repeat it. So I just repeated what she said, but the German word for hissing is Zischen, which is still a bit hard for me to pronounce if I don't take my time trying to get it right, because it starts with a Z and immediately has like an sh after, which were really hard for me at that time and still sometimes can be. So instead of making it sound like Sischen, I made it sound like Schissen. Like, they sound really familiar, but back in the day I was really bad at, making them look or sound different. And it basically translates to taking a poop in German, obviously. So to the others, it sounded like I was saying the ball is taking a poop, and everyone laughed yet again, and my self-confidence was shot again. And, there were a couple of those stories, but, again, I never got bullied for it. And it still makes you think, though, yeah, fuck, I don't want to talk anymore, because if I don't talk, those things don't happen. So even before hearing my own true voice, I already had a lot of trouble with it. But when I grew older, I realized that nobody has ever said something bad about it, actually. Which still surprises me a lot. Like, I don't like my own voice, but that's fine, but we will come to that later. But back in 2008, I got over that barrier and I just started talking with them on the TeamSpeak server anyways, and nothing bad ever happened. Talking with those strangers from a forum actually helped me in a way to get over it, but back in the head, get over it, but in the back of my head I always continued to struggle. So a few years later, the big age of Let's Play started, and I was like, wow, I can do that too. I want to play and just talk and record it. Sounds easy and fun enough, and I actually did it. Those videos are all unlisted and on private and unlikely to ever be set to non-private, because they were all in German anyway, so I doubt many people here could understand them anyways. I had fun doing them, but again, my own head tried to ruin my fun every time I had to edit them. And I told myself, hey, nobody will want to watch these stupid videos with a voice like that. You should just stop, etc. It was always a struggle against it, which eventually I kind of lost and thought, yeah, I should kind of stop. I also have problems actually committing myself to something, so it wasn't the only reason, but a big one. So eventually I stopped doing those Let's Plays, and some of them actually got decent amount of views too, in a way. I didn't just stop it because, oh, nobody's watching them. And nothing mind-breaking, but getting as consistent 100 views, that sounds like so little, but back in the day it was like, holy shit, especially when you're 13, you're 100 people watch my Let's Play, holy. It felt amazing, especially with no one in the comments saying anything bad yet again. I was the master of starting new projects and never finishing the old ones though, so I stopped doing them, and for a long time I also just not talked on the internet anymore, neither on voice calls or in videos or with friends. Even in real life around the time, I basically became even more quiet than I already was because of certain circumstances, and eventually I thought, hey, I want to do something on the internet again because I have a lot of free time, and I kind of want to do something at least, and not just sit here and watch other videos or watch streams while I don't do anything. Sometimes you have these days where you just sit there and think, hey, I can use this time to do something productive, but why am I not using it? So I finally decided, hey, streaming. Everyone knows what streaming is, right? So you sit there and game for hours and just talk about life and things. I watched a lot of streams back in the day and thought it was perfect to learn how to talk again. It sounds weird, but since I never really talked in 4 years, my voice was hacked. I didn't want to say fucked, but fucked sounds way better than hacked. It was fucked after only around 40 minutes of talking, even when drinking water, because you have to stay hydrated, otherwise your throat gets dry and it's not good. So my first stream was pretty short, and that alone made me want to stop again, but I continued and streamed more and more, eventually getting my voice back, and nowadays it's all back to normal thanks to it. I can easily stream for 24 hours and bam, nothing bad. At this point, I was also in the mode of, I don't really care, I'm having fun. Heck what other people say or think. Everyone had some Twitch trolls in the chat before if they streamed themselves probably, and they will kinda troll you for the best ways they can find. But the best way is to just time them out or ban them without even giving them any attention. So it finally happened that there were someone sometimes saying, wow, this guy sounds weird or whatever, but Just click the button, timeout it, banned. There's not much trouble in that. Mostly nowadays, the comments I get are like, wow, I watched for 3 seconds and instantly recognized your German smiley face. In a way that's actually kind of adoring. I'm German, but it just kind of feels funny to be so obvious with my accent. But through the times, I learned that it's not something I can really change unless I start smoking, maybe. So despite giving up once, I came back, and at this point, I really don't care anymore if I don't like my own voice. And to be honest, I'm like still mixed on it. I don't really hate my own voice anymore that much, but I would still prefer if everyone could hear the voice I hear myself when I talk. I think that goes for a lot of people. At least I think, like, I talked about this with some people and they were also like really shocked at their own voice, but they never had like the self-image problems I had, but they were like, hey, I kind of think my normal voice inside of my head is like cooler than the actual voice other people hear, but it really depends on the person. But I want to tell you that you shouldn't give up on your dream or hobby that involves using your voice. There will be people who enjoy your content regardless of how much you may dislike your own voice. Like, in a way, your voice doesn't matter to the other people. So even if you don't like it, other people will like it. So you don't have to like your own voice because, again, it's not something you can really change. But I think we all wanted to watch a video. Whoops, I think I had my microphone. I think we all wanted to watch a video once, but couldn't because the person in the video didn't have a voice you enjoyed, or they talked with an accent you didn't like or couldn't really understand, or whatever. But that doesn't mean that people will think the same about you. It's like someone's height. It's not really changeable. Obviously, voice training is a thing, but it's really hard, and I have a lot of respect for people that can do it to change their voice into something they feel more comfortable with themselves. I know I'm making it way more easy than it actually is when I say don't give up and overcome your self-confidence issues with it, but sometimes I think just doing things, even when you're worried about it, will eventually help you to get over it. Like, sometimes you really have to just say, yeah, I'm just going to do this thing. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Like, it's too easy to say, hard to actually put it into motion though. The good thing about the internet is that mean comments can just be deleted and blocked. And after a certain amount, you should kind of be hardened against it. And again, you can just be deleting them and blocked, and it doesn't make you weak. Like, there's some kind of people who think, oh, you blocked my comment, wow, fuck you, you're weak for not wanting to listen to the truth, which is so stupid. Telling someone, you're not weak for doing it when they attack you for something that you can't change. Like, obviously, telling someone that you think their voice sucks isn't constructive feedback that the person can use to make better videos, so don't do that. Sometimes I just wonder, why be mean in the first place? If I open a video and I think I can't listen to the person's voice, I just close it. No need to leave a bad comment, and that goes for way more than just someone's voice. It goes for their looks, etc. Spread happiness instead of meanness, or just say nothing at all. To me that's just common sense, but sadly it's not common sense for everyone, and I don't really get why. I do get that people like to be mean because, haha, it's funny for me and it makes me feel better, but it's just stupid. And in one way, you on the internet kind of need to be hardened against it, which is hard to kind of become depending on how sensitive you are. But it's sadly something you have to kind of get used to. Like, there's no around it. There will always be mean people, not just on the internet, but also on, or also in real life, sadly. I don't know if saying all of this will help a single person. I hate my microphone again, sorry. I don't know if saying all of this will help a single person to overcome it, but it was something I really just wanted to talk about, so maybe it can help. Don't be ashamed of your own voice, and also not be afraid. Sadly, I can only say this about the internet: if you even have people bullying you for your voice or other things at school, etc., then please try to talk with someone about it, like your parents or teachers, and hopefully they will take it seriously and they can try to change it, hopefully. Obviously, it doesn't always go that way, sadly, but I know that got a bit serious, and I normally like to make simple-minded or silly videos, but nobody should have to go through bullying, and I hope things will get better for you if you sadly have to go through that. And that's kind of all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say, don't be hard on yourself for having something that you can't change. To continue doing what you want to do, even if you think that you are not good enough for it, because you are. Like, as long as you think, or as long as you have fun doing it, you should continue doing it. So With that said, I hope you're gonna have yourself a good one, regardless of what your time zone is. So, good morning, good night, good evening, and all the other various times of day, even though I can only think of afternoon and noon. But afternoon and noon are like, nobody uses those. Nobody says good after. I mean, good afternoon is actually kind of good night and good morning and all that stuff.